All right, guys, we're back. Sorry
Hey,
about that. Let's get
not
that
a
sharing
fan.
going. You know, what were we talking about?
How you can get a reverse mortgage. So it's really not as bad. I don't know what we're
Isn't that
talking
who's that?
about.
Tom Selleck? Who does that
Well,
now?
all these guys, all the washed up actors, they had Robert Wagner for a while, they have
Yeah,
Tom Selleck. They all want to show you how you get to a reverse mortgage and be safe.
I
Don't,
guess. I guess.
don't,
I guess
don't
that
do
probably
it,
would be a
guys.
bad deal for some people. You know
Chicken
what I mean?
chicken's telling you don't do it. Don't do it. There's better things you can do with your money
Yeah,
in your house.
yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. So we had a good week.
Yeah, we had a great
Cool.
week. Well, first, let's talk a little bit about what happened last week. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Joss tournament, which was a big one here. But let's talk a little bit about this big money match they had set up this week, which was I think if not the two biggest players, you know, out there, definitely real close.
Oh yeah. Well,
And here it is,
you watched a good bit of it, right?
right
Mostly.
here, Shane versus Dennis Arcolo
Yeah.
in the Philippines on Sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went down to the 75, 74.
Yeah,
But,
yep. Shane Van Boney won.
he dominated. After the first day, he was at 2 games. After the second, he was at 10. And going into the third day, it was a different player. Dennis came out firing and made it close real quick because it looked like a runaway. But
And these guys have a history of this. I mean, if you watch some of the, if you go back in the archives and check the matches they've played, the races, the long races, they always end up like very, very close. I think there was one I remember where Dennis lost by
I think the
maybe
last one they
eight
played
games,
was
10 games.
120 to 119, wasn't it?
Yes. Oh yeah.
and,
That's what I mean.
and that one, going into the last day, Dennis was down about 20 something racks. And they did that a few months earlier. And in the last day, Dennis was down 20 something racks and won both of them at the end.
Yep.
I,
Yep.
I don't think anyone's a better money player than Dennis Ricola.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep. And this is the first time I think Shane beat him for money. The other two,
Yeah.
75,
Right. That's
74.
true.
yeah, yeah. And he lost last time 120, 119, and I lost the time before that, I believe. And but man, it takes a lot of heart for Shane to go down there and play on his home turf.
Takes a lot to
Absolutely.
go
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
He spent a good bit of time down there.
I
Yeah,
He
think
was
he's
down
been
there a
there
few
a
weeks,
couple of
right?
weeks. Ever since Turning Stone, he's been there.
Yeah, he played a few people. He played Benares, right? He started out with the guy
I
Benares.
forgot.
that's
Yeah,
correct.
He
yeah,
beat
and
three
he beat him
people.
up pretty bad, Benares. Yeah,
It was at there's two guys he played, right? Three in total.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Finished with Dennis. Yeah,
yeah. The cream rises to the top, but man, that guy got hurt, Dennis Orcolo. I mean, imagine being down that much. Just
To someone like Van Boning.
yeah.
I do think that Van Boning gave up a big edge by allowing them to take turns breaking.
Oh, the alternate break
Yeah, because
format.
I think Van Boning's break is so much better than everybody in the world.
yeah,
And you're giving away part of that, and that's part of his strength. But he still wound up winning.
Just
Just
by a whisker.
made it close. Tough. Made those sweaters really sweat.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Plus all the ones. Obviously, there was a few people that were given games.
Yeah.
They didn't
Mm.
make it. Yeah, like the over under on the. Oh, never mind. Somebody. I don't want to do a spoiler alert. Or-
Now Enar is saying he said the one that Shane won big was a bar table when Shane stood in for Sky and Sky had to withdraw at last minute. So Shane did beat Dennis one other time.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know. I wasn't aware of that. All right, thanks,
On the
Enar.
bar box.
I never appreciate that.
That's a while back, I think. I vaguely remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But good job by Shane. I mean, I see a lot more of these Monday matches coming about, and then you got Jason's going to be playing Shane. I mean, yeah, Shane as well.
Where are they gonna play?
They're playing nine ball, I believe, and it's a nine on the spot.
No,
So,
where?
Where?
I'm not sure actually.
Is it in Texas?
It it might be.
Buffalo's or
It might
something?
be maybe the Virginia area as well. I'm not
Oh,
100% sure.
Yeah, Buffalo's is in New Orleans.
As soon
Yeah,
as we
that's where I
find
played.
out, we will definitely pass that along. I know Jason was busy with his family this week. He was at the Big E. His daughter's turned
oh,
8 years old today.
how old?
So we took her to the Big E for the second
She was
time.
8?
Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing.
God, she was a baby.
Eating everything fried. Anything and everything you could fry
yeah,
is at the Big E.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Good. Good
Uh,
time for all.
but we had a big weekend here, huh? What a great event. Let's talk a little bit about that event. You know, the Joss tournament here with Mike Zuglin and a lot of superstars came out. You know, Ryan Cullen was here.
Yeah, I always expect Ryan to be at the end of the tournament. I was surprised when he got knocked out because
He was on day 2 though.
he,
He just lost the
yeah,
first.
but I mean,
Yeah,
he made the second day.
yeah.
But because he plays so good, I always expect him to do better.
Well, I'm pretty sure knocked him out was a strong
remember who.
regional player. I believe it was that Aaron Greenwood
Oh, he
from
played. Yeah, he
Syracuse, and
played
he
good.
made it. He made it into the quarterfinals, so
And
he had a good tournament for sure.
and don't forget, he's getting married in a week and a half. That takes a little bit on your mind.
Got his
You know what I
mind
mean?
on other things.
When
Yeah,
you're thinking about all that stuff, even though you try not to on the pool table, it comes back to get
It's
you. You
hard.
know, you're definitely thinking about it for sure.
So he's getting married in a week and a half.
Yeah, week. I think next, not this Saturday, next Saturday.
yeah. He's got to hope that the preacher shows up.
I got rehearsal dinner on Saturday. We're good to go.
Oh, very good.
We're good to go. We're gonna get those guys married for sure. Get Ryan back to
Good for
tip
Ryan.
top pool form. You know.
He's one of the top nice guys around here. Besides being one of our regional
Yeah.
super strong players. Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, and then of course, who you talked about earlier, Aaron Greenwood played fantastic.
Yeah,
tonight.
he had a great tournament. Yeah, he was very impressive to watch. We enjoyed calling his match. Well, Lucas, he put a lot of pressure on himself, didn't he?
He
But
really did. He bought himself in Calcutta, and we you know how that goes. Sometimes it comes back to bite you.
yeah,
You know.
and he doesn't want any company, right? He wants the whole thing.
I know.
Well, that you know what? It's beautiful because it shows how confident he is.
Yeah,
But he
absolutely.
puts total pressure on himself, and then he has to perform.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
performed. I mean, he performed pretty good, but he
did.
didn't take it down.
No, and who was in fourth? Was it Ray McNamara again? He came in fourth, and Aaron third.
No, Ray Mack, I don't think made fourth.
Alex Boss took third.
Alex.
Alex.
Another guy.
Aaron
Always names
Greenwood,
always out there.
Alex Bausch is another
He plays
super
good.
nice kid. I made a comment a few times on the stream about if you didn't like Alex enough before this, he asked me to give a shout out to his mom. He said his mom would be watching.
Oh,
It's like the
nice.
all American good guy, right? So he's a nice kid, and his
He
game
plays
is
good,
solid.
too.
Oh man,
Plays good.
and he I think more than anybody else, Lucas was close at times, I guess, but I think Alex was very disappointed in how he played. He played well below his capability towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
scratched twice.
Yeah, I thought he
Followed. He was trying to cheat the pocket twice, and he followed it in. This is when it was. I think he was playing the eventual winner, right, Kevin? Yeah, when he scratched twice.
He fell. He ran out of gas because he played really good the match before that, and then he didn't
Certainly
play good
did.
at all.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, I think that's what it looked like. It looked like he just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, of course, like I said, Ray Mack played well, and he seems like he's so solid. You know, I mean, consistent from Raleigh. So always the woodpecker just comes in and plays so fantastic.
That woodpecker dude was doing a nice job. Yeah.
And then of course we got to talk about the winner, the champion. You know, what do you guys got to say about that gentleman?
I've known him since he was about 15. He's played pretty good for quite a while, but he went to Texas and made him into a much better player. But I was surprised when I watched him play. He's a different player than I saw last time I saw him.
Yep.
He really is a finished player. He looks good out there. He just is kind of slow.
I was going to say that he takes an awful lot of time. Very deliberate player. And there was some talk on the chat. We were wondering whether it was gamesmanship. Was he trying to slow the pace down on Lucas? Because when Lucas starts getting into his rhythm, it's a fast rhythm. Then he starts almost sprinting around the table to the next shot. It's like a practice session. And there was none of that coming from Kevin. Kevin was just very, very deliberate. And
And I wanted to say something about that too, though. Like,
yeah,
you know, even before the first match of the day, who did he play? I can't remember. It was on the when Lucas was waiting. It was a long match. Him and Kevin was playing, taking his time. And I think it was Eric Greenwood. I mean,
Aaron.
yeah, Aaron Greenwood. It was they were both taking their time. It was or no, it was him and Ray Mack, 100%.
Oh, well,
It was Ray Mack. That
Ray's
was a
always-
long match.
He's another
Ray's
deliberate player.
always been slow.
Yeah, but I mean, but Kevin didn't change his pace at all. I don't think for Lucas. He had that same pace all day.
Oh yeah, I think
thought he-
yeah, I think that's probably accurate, but it didn't stop the conversation from going on on the chat where people were speculating that it might be
Absolutely.
to do with gamesmanship. But no, he was doing that the whole day.
He was. If he goes back and watches
Yeah.
matches, you'll see that he actually, is definitely not slow playing, but play at that pace. I think pretty much all day.
Yeah.
But great job to him, and it's a double dip Lucas at home on his own table.
It was like our friend Jim. Jimmy said it's like he just walked into his basement and beat him on his own table.
Yeah, I
You
know,
know, and
right?
that's pretty much the extent of it.
Yep.
Yeah, he was confident. He came in and he did what he had to do.
Yep.
I thought Lucas was playing a little bit nonchalant in that first set, and I wonder if it's almost like he knows he's got another like a safety net. He's got the
Yep.
second set waiting if he needs it, and he never quite got going in that first set. And
I
then,
could see that because a lot
yeah,
of times, even when he sets up gambling games that first set, sometimes he comes out a little bit. He knows he's going to keep playing, and
yeah,
he doesn't have that drive. The eye of the tiger, if you will.
he's not a killer all the time. He could
Yeah.
be a killer, but he wasn't a killer all the time. In the first set, yeah, he just didn't really show up. Do you think?
I didn't like the way he was breaking.
Oh, that
The
too.
cup break.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got a great break, and I didn't see him use it one time in those last couple of sets. And I know a lot of cup breaks pretty fashionable right now, but he's got such a good break, and he plays on that table so often. I don't understand why he didn't stick with what gets him there.
yeah. If the cup break's not working, go back to the
Yeah,
cannon and
because
change your spots and all. Yeah,
He
he's
scratched at least two
yeah,
times in that.
normally I watch him
yeah.
play. He never scratches. He squats the cue ball somewhere near the center,
Beautiful.
and he has power. And
Yeah.
once he went to cut break, I think he gave away a huge one of his big advantages because there wasn't anyone there I thought that broke any better than any better than Lucas can break. Yet you give that away.
Yeah, and we were talking about that also on the stream. People have to be aware, and it's a good lesson. Conditions change. The weather, the amount of people that are in the room, the amount of people that are around that table, and it does make a difference in the playability of the table. The humidity certainly makes a big difference. And if you're playing with something that worked this morning and it's not working in the evening, don't get married to it. You have to change it up.
You
Look for a different result.
find a sweet spot.
Yes, yeah,
They seem
absolutely.
but I thought he gives up too much now.
Well, thank you for that, Earl.
What?
That's what Earl says. The table changes all the time.
It's very true.
He is
Yeah.
right. He's absolutely right. And guys, let's get that sharing going, guys. This is Shark Talk. We got so much more to talk about. And Einar said, just to confirm here, Matt came in fifth, and
Yes. Yeah.
and Alex came in
Alex
Greenwood fourth, and Alex third.
third. Okay. Yeah.
And
Right.
of course, Lucas second, and
Kevin won. Yeah.
Kevin won. Yeah, Kevin, great job by Kevin here.
And congratulations, Kevin. That was
You
a
know,
nice showing.
That's a big
Certainly.
deal, right?
You know what I like about him? I asked him at the beginning because if I'm going to do a broadcast, I like to know what they're playing with. I like to share that with the audience, and I also like to see if they want me to give a shout out to whom. And he said, "Yeah, just give a shout out for me to the whole world." I said, "Well, I'll do that. I'll do that." And I asked him. I says, "Kevin, what are you playing with?" And he says, "Oh, I'm not sure." And he wasn't joking with me. He had to actually look. And he says, "Oh, it's a Lucasi with a
Borrowing somebody's cue or something, huh?
with a universal shaft." He said it's not universal, it's universal. I said, okay, very good. But yeah, he's got a very good sense of humor, and he's another local guy, local boy doing that goes out there and does a good job. I saw him up at Turning Stone a few years ago, and he was going through the field like butter. He was doing a really good job. He beat Johnny Archer, and I said, man, this kid's got some game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So fun for him, and this is a nice win, nice
Yep.
notch on his belt.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
congratulations to all the winners.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Zuglin, and what a great event it was here at Yale Billiards. And let's change pace here. We're going to talk about this young superstar. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her out there, but this is Savannah Easton. Do you know who she is?
Oh yeah,
Bob, you know who she is?
she's
Never?
getting
All right.
our attention.
I'm just going to play this video real quick. I wish I was able to share it, but she played in a pro event. She just turned 12 years old,
The
Bob.
Michigan Open, right?
And yeah, and she collected money. And it's just check this out, guys. Again, Savannah Easton, they call her the Roadrunner.
AKA the Roadrunner.
Is she 12?
She's 12,
Yeah.
and she is a hit, and she is becoming really, really popular. And I think even the men may have to watch out for her.
Yeah,
in
and
the days.
she's a sweetheart, and she will take your money.
There we go.
17 through 20. Hello, I'm Savannah Isis, and I just placed 17 through 24th out of 64 players in the WPBA. And I want to thank all my sponsors to make this happen.
My dad.
Yeah, my dad, my parents. So thank you.
She's in the video right now.
Hello.
She's adorable.
So what do you guys think about that? 17th place in the Women's Michigan Open ladies event.
I like to see her play.
Yeah, you gotta watch. She has her own page, and
Yeah,
she's got almost as many followers as we do on the Shark Stream. How about that?
She's a baby.
She's a baby. You
She's
know
gonna-
what? She was playing Ashley in Vegas, right?
She did. She played. She beat Ashley
She
Benoit
beat
in
Ashley
Vegas.
Benoit.
I saw that. I didn't realize that was
She was
her.
11, I
That's
think.
the same. That's the same girl. Incredible. Yeah. Well, you know what? Good for her. She's cute as could be, and she's dangerous on the pool table.
Where's she from?
Yeah, and there you go, guys. You can Savannah Easton is her name right there. If you want to,
Do you know where she's
follow
from?
her.
Do you know where she's from?
I'm not sure. Let's take a little look.
Yeah, we don't want her sneaking up on us.
Yeah, I know, right? I think she's kind of young to be putting all that information out there, but she's definitely a force, and she's all over the place, and I think she's really, really gonna take it to the next level. I really do.
Best of luck to her. Hope she does.
Yeah. And then of course, who won that event was Kelly Fisher, for the female, that opened. So let's that's gonna come up in 1 second here.
Looks like Alvin. He's so by.
And what do you guys think of Kelly Fisher? Pretty good player, right?
Kelly Fisher's another one of those ones that the guys could have a tough time getting through her. She plays super. Yeah.
Yeah, so she won the ladies Michigan Open, and congratulations to Kelly Fisher. And it seems like she's winning everything.
Yeah.
So if not, she came in second.
Looks like Alvin.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Yeah, the guy that won the Michigan Open, one of the best names in pool, Aloysius Yap, and he does look a little bit like our Alvin Lamb. He's taken it down. Is it the second year in a row that he's won? I think it might be. I think Aloysius Yap, this might be his second.
Yes, it does. It says
in a
right
row.
there for the second
Oh, okay.
second year.
There you
Yes.
go.
That's pretty strong. That field was stacked.
Oh yeah. Well, he is a monster, as they say. Really. He came in second to Carlo Beato in the U.S. Open. He was in the final last year.
From Malaysia or somewhere?
Singapore. Singapore, yeah.
Somewhere's over there.
He's a really nice. I mean, I don't know him personally, but just the way he conducts himself around the table and in post-match interviews, he seems like a really nice kid. And he's young. He's a young guy.
Really,
Yeah,
young, right?
and
At
too.
24, I think, or something
Yeah.
like that. But fantastic player, and then he's going to be there, obviously, at the U.S. Open. He's going to be ready to rock and roll. And the U.S. Open is going to be. I don't know who's going to win it this year. I mean, what do you think?
Boy, that's a tough question. What do you think?
Well, if I was gonna bet, I'd probably bet on.
Shane?
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Yeah.
He's so good, so
Yeah.
solid.
He's who I want to win, but hard to look away from people like Fedor Gorst. Filler will be there, right? And Aloysius Yap just came in second. And you got your buddy Naoki Oi.
Naoki
He
Oi.
made the semis or quarters, right?
Yeah, he
Last
made
year.
top four.
Top
Before
four.
before we get into that, let's check this out tournament though. This is the one right before it.
Oh yeah.
And Chicken and Bobby. I want to know what you guys' opinion on this is. Can see it a little bigger here maybe, but that's the Sandcastle Open. And man, there are some big names in that event as well.
They're all going there to get ready.
Yeah, that's like a warm up, right? That's a warm up. It seems
That's a
like
warm
for
up.
the
I don't know.
for- I'm saying that's a warm up for Atlantic City.
Yeah,
Are you
They're going to be there right
absolutely.
before.
Are you going to both of these, Bob?
Lucas is going to both of them. He wants me to go to Sandcastle with him. It's just really tough for me to get away for 10, 11 days in a row.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm definitely going to be going to the U.S. Open. And with him and Bob Lewis is going to be there. Shark Stream's going to be there. We're definitely going to get some videos, some of the pros, and talk to them, maybe get a couple interviews as well while we're out there. But yeah, the U.S. Open is is huge. It's so much fun. All the big names are going to be there, and
How's Lucas getting from one to the other? Is he going with somebody?
I think maybe Dave. I'm not 100%
Um,
sure. I don't follow his day-to-day activities, but I tell him when I can go help him and run certain events. So I really don't know exactly what he's doing as far as who's going and stuff. But I know he signed up, so
Well,
I know he can't not go. Well, he can, but it would be kind of crazy not to.
maybe if he dogs at a sandcastle, he could hitchhike over to AC.
Yeah, yeah, he
Get out,
absolutely could.
highway, go. Stick out
Yeah,
your thumb.
absolutely couldn't. But so here's the little better of this field here. If
Oh
you guys
yeah,
can watch it out there, but hold on one
yeah,
second.
it's gonna be chock full.
There we go. It's getting there. All right, here we go. How about that? So we got Alden Wagner, Alice Kazakis, Aloysius Yap, Billy Thorpe, Brandon Barden, CJ Che, Carlos Beato. I mean, you want me to keep going?
Yeah, it's just
How
yeah,
about Wukong Lin?
yeah.
You know him, right?
It's loaded.
Fantastic player. Sky Woodward, Shane Wolford. I mean, these names are just,
Kopin
yep. Naoki Oi,
Kopin yeah, they're yeah, both the Co brothers.
Mario He, Lucas Ferner.
Mario, he's from Austria. He always plays any partner events out of Austria. It's him and Albin Ocean. So
Yep.
he's another extremely capable. I'm sure Spain is represented. I didn't see him yet, but
I don't see Fedor in here, and I don't see
Fedor Gorst must be there, right?
Ocean, but I
Yeah,
do see Koping Chung as well. The Asian
yeah,
Asian they call them. They're
yeah.
coming.
Oh no, that's what's nice about this. We're finally getting to the point with this pandemic that we're starting to see some of the Asian players coming in. So that's always helpful for the competition and enjoyment.
Right.
Chang Jung Lin, I hope he's going to be there. I didn't see him on here, but I hope he'll be at the Atlantic City event.
Yep, I'm sure they will be, and I haven't seen anything. I think it's sold out, the U.S. Open, and normally right around this time I hear a buzzing like, "Oh, you can still get in, you can still get in." I didn't hear any of that this time.
Yeah, so they might be
It might be,
all booked with a waiting list.
120 players.
Should be, yeah.
yeah, pretty strong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sandcastle, just a shout out to the owner, Ed Ladawi. He, like
Yes,
yourself, is a total dedicated pool man. He's all about support, spreading the word about what a great sport we're involved with.
yes, he
He's a
is.
good man, yeah, and I'm sure he'll be at the event refereeing.
He actually runs the cameras, I think, when he's there for
Oh,
this event,
oh, for Pat.
for his event.
Oh no, but I'm saying for Pat.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he'll do some referee work and directing.
And this event here, Sandcastle, is a 9-ball run event, so points. And I want to talk a little bit about the point system. I don't know exactly how it works as far as the Mosconi Cup situation.
Yeah,
I know Shane is the only one I believe that's picked an American, and I'm hearing through my sources. Yeah, I will never divulge them, no matter what. No matter what color glasses you wear, chickens.
okay.
That Earl is a possibility going to be playing on this team again.
On Mosconi Cup team.
Yeah, the Mosconi Cup, USA.
Man, he's been on a few. I don't know. Did the chat ever come up or not?
I got it over here. It's not a lot of chatter
Oh,
going
okay,
on.
okay.
But yeah, I'm going to talk to Joe. I think he's here actually.
Yeah, I'm curious what the people in the chat feel about Earl playing. What do you think, Bob?
I think Earl was a great player. I don't think he's a great player now. I think his antics are terrible,
Hmm.
and I don't know why there's never been any penalties for it. But he was a great pool player.
I'll tell you one thing. I think you and I dogged something this weekend. We were going to ask Mike Zuglin about. It's none of our business
what he's
really,
gonna
but it would have been interesting to ask just to see if he was in the mood to answer. But well, it would have been nice to see what we thought, what he thought. But both Shane and Earl left Turning Stone early, and these guys are on the poster. They're on all the advertising. They're they're two of the biggest draws for the event, and for them to leave early, it's there should be some kind of a sanction, maybe, but that's going to be up to Mike Zuglin. He usually runs a very tight tournament, So I guess
Let
we'll
me ask
see.
you this: do you think they might possibly maybe want him on there just to see him explode or see his antics?
Unfortunately,
I
yeah.
think a lot of people want to see it.
It's like the train wreck factor.
Mm.
Somebody thought that of Matchroom, who's Matchroom might be single-handedly saving Pool. They're such a great organization and they're so dedicated to Pool. But there was a lot of people, a lot of banter about um, Earl being let on the previous Moscone Cups just for that purpose because ratings, people want to see him. If you ever go to any tournament that he's involved in, Turning Stone, anywhere down at the Super Billiards Expo, when Earl is playing, all the people gravitate down there, and there's I think a fair percentage of those people are there because they want to see him, you know, act up, go off,
Hmm.
the inevitable implosion. You know,
Yep.
I do think the way we have no real way we run the Moscone Cup to get on the team. It's a couple of stray tournaments around the country, and that's what they go by. It just seems to me that pool's never been, well, not since, in my opinion, since the Camel Tour, it hasn't been organized. So they'll pick two or three, tournaments, say this one, but some of the West Coast players won't come here. You know, there's got to be a better way
Yep.
of doing it.
yeah, it makes sense that they would choose the U.S. Open because that's a widely attended event. But it is
That would
it's a
be,
good
but
it's a good point. Like, okay, well, why is Turning Stone getting
yeah, I
so
mean,
many
they're not gonna
points?
get guys
It,
out of West
it's a
here.
Northeast tour. Yeah,
That's what I mean. It's not a good system, I don't think.
Yeah.
I have to agree.
I think we get all together at some point. It's just like when I try to look at results for tournaments, I have to go to Digital Pool. I have to go to the Predator website. I have to go, where if I want to know the score of the Yankees or
Yeah,
Red Sox, I go to sports
yeah.
and click it,
And there it is.
so it's right there. And we're just not there yet. I hope we're on our way to that. But yeah, I agree with you, Bobby. We got to have some kind of
It,
system
it
where,
has to be. And look at a couple of years when Jeremy he was in the top three or four players.
we
And
all
he
think he got
chose,
shafted,
yeah,
of course, in the East Coast,
he
but
had the points to be in like third or fourth, and yet both years he didn't get in. They said the second time he could be an alternate. Well, who wants to be an alternate? He had the points to be higher,
you know,
but they allowed the captain of the team to pick other people he wanted.
you know,
That wasn't right.
That's exactly what happened. It was a total snub.
And you knew it was going to be that way from the start.
And it calls into question the integrity of the event. It just makes a lot of people upset because here's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in Pool, and he's working his behind off, and
right.
he scored enough points. He should have been allowed to play in the Moscone Cup.
No,
He was without a doubt in the top 5 rotation players in the country, and he didn't get his shot
In
at
the
the Moscone.
tournaments.
Yeah, yeah.
and of course,
Well, yeah, very good point. Yeah.
the only time an alternate ever came into effect was COVID with Earl and the captain. Jeremy Jones had to jump in there,
Uh,
and unfortunately, Jeremy, I don't think he go that year. He was an alternate.
Who now?
Did
Earl?
he go? No, Jeremy. Did he
no,
go?
he didn't go.
He didn't even go,
Oh,
right?
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think he thought it was an insult
Yeah. It
because
was.
he would have gone and not gotten paid.
Yeah.
He's been alternate, and you're gonna fly to I think it was England
It
and
was.
sit there and not be paid for a week of your time.
I can't remember all the guys, but I think it was Jeremy was one.
I know
Oscar Dominguez was
Oscar
another
also
one.
felt like he was snubbed
Yeah, he was on.
because he was right there. He
So
should.
the guys just decided
They
you know
put
what
who
they
they want.
wanted. They wanted them also to help out with practice sessions with the guys that were going to play.
Yeah, and I spoke to Oscar as well about this, and he'll tell you right about the Moscone Cup. Sometimes he doesn't think it's fair. He doesn't
Yeah.
like the way he's been snubbed a couple times as
Yeah.
well. So he knows what it's like.
That's what I meant. It's not an organization that runs everything that you can count on.
Yep.
And especially when you give the captain a team, he's allowed to pick two or three people he wants over people that should be there.
That did the
Yeah,
points.
it'd be different. I don't know. I didn't like anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be a governing agency who can make a merit-based system that works for everybody and it's fair.
Yep.
Otherwise, yeah, you have to worry about being stepped over. You know,
All right, so we got a couple things here. One guy says, "I love pool." Very nice, thank you very much.
we
And
do we
then,
do too.
and Joe Bryan said that Emily Duddy interviewed the Roadrunner as well. Yeah, if you go to Emily Duddy's
Very
page, she did a
nice.
great interview with her. asking her 20 questions, what she likes for ice cream and stuff was really cool. And then Enar said, you notice that Shane wasn't on the list of Sandcastle. And maybe because he's just going to be coming off this long month of playing in the Philippines, maybe.
Is he coming back from the Philippines already?
Well, he's got to play in the U.S. Open, so I don't know if he's back or you would think he came back right away.
Okay, yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah, he
When did
finished.
it start?
He
Like,
finished playing the scheduled stuff down there.
yeah, that was
So Sandcastle's next weekend. The U.S. Open's the
obviously,
following Monday,
so he has another week.
so the 8th of it is
He
Sunday.
might think he's got enough practice in over the last
He might be in
couple of
stroke.
months. Yeah,
Yeah,
play
yeah,
long
exactly.
sessions.
He's going to be ready, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And it's good. Maybe he feels burned out. He needs a little time off.
So who's the picks? Both you guys going with Shane?
I don't see
For
any.
you,
I'm going to go
Open?
with Jason.
Jason,
I'm going
nice.
to go with Jason. He's hungry. He's trying to break that world record again.
Yeah.
He went to Turning Stone. He won that. I mean, he came here. He played a role. He seems like he's on a mission. So I'm gonna go with, and he won it 5 times as well. I believe he's a 5-time winner
Of what?
of the U.S. Open.
Who now?
Jason, right?
No.
Oh no,
No, he won once.
Shane is.
Shane has
Shane
a
is.
chance, and that's another
I'm
reason
sorry,
why
yeah.
that's another reason why it's nice to root for Shane is because he's at 5, tied with Earl.
Yeah.
Those are the two guys, and Shane has a real chance of beating it. So,
What if they play in the semifinals or something? That would be something, huh?
oh my God, yeah, yeah, that would be rather amazing. It would. I'm going with Federgorst.
Okay, Fedor, really nice. Can't go wrong with him.
For the record. Yeah, he's another nice kid.
He's chopping at the bit. He hasn't played in really any events,
Yeah.
so he's going to be ready.
Yeah.
And
hopefully.
then somebody said they seen Josh Roberts at the Sandcastle. You guys got any thoughts on Josh Roberts?
Good one
He's a
pocket
good
player.
one-pocket player. and he's quickly becoming one of my favorite announcers.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of pool.
Yeah.
And most of the commentators I watch with the sound off. 90% of them, but I like him.
Yeah.
You know, he sounds good. He's knowledgeable. I really I don't know him at all, but I like the way he plays. I watched him play one pocket. I liked it, but I thought he was a great commentator.
Awesome.
His game was good enough. Approximately 5 years ago, I'll say, that he was strongly being considered. He was real close to being on Moscone Cup for 9-ball. So he plays rotation and he plays one pocket at a really high level.
Very nice. There
Yeah.
you go. That's our Josh Roberts thing.
Yep.
And yeah, and then like I said, we got the U.S. Open coming up, and then the Moscone Cup, and there's an event in Florida as well going on, but I don't know. There's a hurricane going on right now tomorrow, so
What's that? The River Open or something?
something like that. Yeah, and
River
for you
City?
guys out there in Florida, be safe.
I
Yeah,
get
please
tomorrow.
Is that when?
A friend who's at my house for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
He lives in Tampa, and that's supposed to
That's
take the
right.
brunt of it tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And he left his house unattended, so he's really worried about his house, and he can't even rush down there.
Yeah, no, they said like a huge portion of Florida's being evacuated.
Yes.
I mean, Mike 2.0 actually called me today. He's mandatory evacuated from his place.
Oh.
So he's moving on from wherever he is for a day or two or however long it takes.
Well, if they tell you to get out, listen to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could always replace the property.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if the flood's coming, you're not going to help it.
That's
I
right.
don't know what you're going to
Yeah.
do, but you got to be safe for sure.
Yeah, be well, everybody
Yeah.
down in Florida. I just wanted to mention, if anybody is unaware, who do you think the top 5 money players are right now? The earners. I'll tell you who they are real quick, just for the record. It's Federgorst, Josh Filler, Shane, Kelly Fisher, and Jason Shaw. That rounds out the top 5. So
And I think
just as an FYI.
I think the first one's over almost over 250,000, right, or close to $250,000 mark.
That's pretty good money. I'm not sure what the dollars are, but that sounds good.
It's pretty close, yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty close. And of course, this is all tournament money, so they make more than that. I mean, and me being on the inside, when somebody comes to Yale Billiards, those guys are making money. So
Oh.
everywhere they go, they're making money. So I
Or
kind of
there's
feel,
a chance to.
yeah, when
Sure.
they're
Yeah.
but I mean, like all these people going to these events, and I see Earl, doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
Joey and Mason Parker was here; she did a clinic. There's a lot of people doing that stuff out there.
Yes.
Making a living in pool, which I think is fantastic.
Yep.
And what do you think about who'd you say was second? He hasn't even played in that many events.
Who's number 2 here? Josh Filler.
right?
Yeah.
Who was it? Of course, wasn't playing in the
Feder
events.
Gorse. Yeah, Feder Gorse is number 1.
Yeah,
And then Josh Filler, Shane, Kelly Fisher. Well, the Michigan Open helped her out. And then Jason Shaw.
right.
Yep.
That's 5 pretty strong players right
Yeah.
there.
I'd like to just give a shout out to Jeanette Lee. I know everybody knows she's battling cancer. Seems to be doing good, and she's recently, I think this past weekend, she was out, or last week, she was out participating in some pool events. So
Absolutely.
best to you, Jeanette Lee.
It's great to see her out there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Anytime you see her out there playing pool.
Yeah.
And the last thing we're just going to talk about is, of course, we have our flyer here. Let me see if I can pop it up real quick. We got the Earl Strickland thing going on here,
Yeah.
right? At our clinic.
When
We're almost full. Can you believe that already?
when is that?
It's going to be December 10th,
December.
and we're almost full, which is pretty incredible. We had 10 people. We haven't even put the flyer up yet. And
It's
so
gonna, obviously it's going to sell out. Maybe
yeah,
you'll
and-
do a day 2. Who knows?
yeah, and I don't have the flyer yet. We're working on it, but so we're gonna do 10 people and 250 bucks. We have 8 people already in there, so we have 2 people left, and it's gonna be pay-per-view, and he's gonna have 5 hours of him talking pool.
I promise you, everybody out there, that Earl Strickland can teach. He's an extraordinary teacher. I stood by and I watched him at Steinway giving lessons, and the guy knows how to impart the information. And it's like you said, Bobby, who knows more about pool than him?
I really don't think there's anybody, right? What do you think, Bobby?
I don't think anybody can know more. He's been a good player for 40 years.
Yeah, he's certainly an undisputed authority. But and there's a lot of people that know an awful lot about pool, but they can't teach.
Yeah.
He can teach. He really is a great teacher, and you guys will find that out in December if you participate in this. Yep.
Yep, and that's gonna be December 10th, and I think we covered it all. So we talked about the Shane and Orcolo match. And what do you guys think about the Shane Shaw match coming up? That's gonna be right after the US Open. It's gonna be a long
That
race.
could be exciting. I think Shaw can make anything exciting. The way he runs racks so quickly, whereas you'll have the other extreme with Van Moning, who's deliberate, takes his time. Be fun to watch.
They're gonna take the break away from a little bit by moving that 9-ball in the spot.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I once again, if I'm Shane, I wouldn't give in on any of these things.
Yeah.
Especially 10-ball. I just think his break is so good. 10-ball.
But here's the thing with these guys, they're such good pros. And you watch them practice, like you see Jason do his videos, that you know what they're doing at home, right? They're putting that 9-ball in the spot and they're breaking
Yeah, so
a million
yeah.
times till they get it where they can make a ball and have a shot. And I mean, you remember when 9-ball first started? Texas Express rules. You
Yeah,
know,
I wasn't a fan of that, but yes, I
yeah, yeah, that was the big switchover,
It
right?
changed
Yeah.
drastically.
Nobody was reading racks back then. They didn't even know what reading rack. I mean, the
That's
straight poolers did a little bit, but not when it first came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that
It didn't matter because you were pushing out all the time, right?
yeah, we push out. I still like the old push out. But yeah, Joe Tucker came up with this like 10, 15 years ago, reading the rack.
Yeah.
Up till then, we just hit it hard and hope we didn't scratch.
Yeah.
But he changed the game. He grew a 9-ball.
It's
I
amazing
actually-
what a little tilt could do or a tiny space.
I actually think we should still rack for my opponent. And if he doesn't get a perfect rack, well, that's part of the rack.
Yeah.
The game. I think now with everyone patting rack and arguing over the little gaps so they know a ball's dead or not, that makes the game too predictable. I'd rather see the guy slug me once in a while, and see how you handle that rack when the balls are all tied up. But I know it's not going to go back to that way.
A little more gamesmanship.
Yeah,
It's kind of fun, right?
well, I think you have to learn to play in different things. Can't always be perfect. Everything can't be perfect. But
Well, I mean, you see it on our list matches. That wing ball goes when you use the magic rack half the time, even people that don't even know how to play.
I'm not a fan of that part either. When we first
Well, I was agreeing with you. I'm just saying, if it's perfect, it's just not too easy. But
when the Magic Rack first came out, I don't know, 10 years ago, whatever it was, in New London, we got a couple of them when I was playing up there. And it had brand new felt on this table I like to play on. So I played a friend of mine who was a decent player. He broke about 35 times. He made the corner ball 33 times in the break. He was breaking it about 12 miles an hour on that
The
gun.
soft break.
And I was giving him every bad rack I thought I could. With the Magic Rack, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And he still made it 33 out of 35. I mean, that's terrible.
Too predictable.
It's too. That's what I think. That's me. I don't want someone to give me a bad rack. But if you have bad racks out there, now you got to learn how to play pool, not just shoot 8 hangers. You got balls tied up, and I think that's a good way of doing it. I mean, I don't want there to be gaps 3 inches, an inch apart.
Yeah, where the ball gets sucked
Yeah.
into the rack.
Yeah, but little things. I think that's good for pool. You now what's it? I can't think of his name out of Florida. Donnie Mills. A couple years ago, when
he's another rack
Johnny
specialist.
Mills did good in Turning Stone, right?
he's a top player.
He's a rack
But he played
specialist.
Van Boning once, and part of the hand, what it was, you rack for yourself, and your opponent couldn't check your rack. And this kid, every rack he ran, every ball in the same pocket. It was.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm not a fan of that. But if you're stealing, let the guy use a Magic Rack if he wants.
Yeah, right.
It's interesting, and it all depends on what level play we're talking about too. It doesn't make that much of a difference during league play if you're using
No,
this kind of
most
rack,
them
that kind of
don't
thing.
know
And I'll tell you what, even in our event that we had here, the Josh Tour event, how many racks did we see run? There wasn't a whole
There
bunch
wasn't a lot.
run.
Yeah, I
No.
was surprised. There
It
weren't.
made a big difference without the Magic Rack, right?
Yeah, there weren't. That's once again, I like that.
Mhm.
But there weren't a lot. I mean, even thinking back like the finals, so I don't remember breaking runs.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to think of some. There weren't that many.
Right.
Yeah, look back a few months ago when
When
Lucas played with
with the
yeah,
Magic Rack.
every time. I mean, he was running out like every other break was a run out.
That was incredible.
Yeah,
It really was. That was quite a display.
I like this style better.
Yeah.
Well, like Bobby's saying, though, is that rack been a big part of it.
Oh,
It can be.
With the hand racks.
It can be, depending on what level you're at. It definitely makes it,
Well-
quite an enormous difference.
And when nine ball was started, do you think it was started to made every single ball to be touching like a Magic Rack?
I don't know.
I mean, that wasn't even thought of, right?
You
It was
just-
all hand racks.
Yeah, when I came up in the in the 70s and in the 80s, all you really checked was the front 3 balls. You make sure the front 3 were tight, and the rest is as long as there weren't too big a gap.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Nobody really.
It's
and we
acceptable.
I barely even now the little bit I play. If I was going to play for money, I don't check racks. But I know that's the wrong way to look at it nowadays.
Well, the other argument that's made is the Magic Rack keeps tournaments going quicker.
I do like.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So there's that aspect of it because people don't have to inspect it as much because, like you say, there's really not much you could do. The balls are falling in on each other,
Yep.
and you are getting generally a pretty tight rack.
I didn't like here. We did some matches in the booth where they were looking at the rack for. I mean, it wasn't like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
But they were studying.
They started looking
more.
at it,
Yeah, more
Yeah.
than they were.
I told you I thought that part was gamesmanship because
That might be.
Kevin Guimond was giving it back.
But yeah. I don't.
Yeah. And what I like about Luke is he's not really looking at too much. He just wants to play. Isn't that funny? He's so enthusiastic. He's like, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
If there's a big error in the rack, he'll notice it. But otherwise, he just wants to hit him and go.
Yeah, he does.
Typically. But that was surprising, though, that the result that they had. I just want to mention one other thing too about Kevin Guimond. I mentioned it in the stream, and it's worthwhile mentioning again that it's jaw-dropping, something that happened to him when he was playing. I think it was a White Diamonds tournament. It was on bar boxes. But, I mean, this was one of those Louisiana bar box tournaments. It was just huge field of amazing players. He was playing Warren Kiemko. And if you go to YouTube, all you have to do is you have to search Guimond, Guimond, Kiemko, Kiamco, Kiemko, and 8-ball, and you'll find the video, and you're going to see something happen that was just you won't see that ever again in pool. I won't spoil it for you. Just go
There you
take a
go.
look at it. It's amazing. It's a lot of fun to see.
Nice.
Um,
All right. That's all we got.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. And guys, quick word from our sponsors. And make sure you stay tuned this week because we got a lot of great list matches this week, Bobby and Chicken.
Sound good.
A lot of big ones.
All
Thank
right.
all of our sponsors here at the Shark Stream. We got Connecticut APA, Sigma Wear, Agency One Group, Jacoby Custom Cues, Women in Pool, Mabel's Tables at Michael's Deli, NM Billiards, KM Maintenance, JT Pool Cue Repair, Salado App, Mark Anthony Home Improvements, Tommy's Tattoo Supply, Jimmy's Tires and Service, Master Billiards, Ben Strong, Vaculease, Harriman Real Estate, Pool Table Magic, K Morgan, and Man Cave Memories. Of course, our main sponsors got Simona's Cloth, Aramith Balls, Viking Cues, Andy Gow. Support, share, and donate. This is Bobby Hilton saying, boom, without you, there'd be no us.